Hey there, welcome to this episode of the Celebrate Brave podcast. I'm Nicole Steinbach, the International Bravery Coach and your host. You are in the right place to learn everything brave. On this podcast, I share the best frameworks, the coolest conversations, and my own unique perspectives for how you can build your brave. There are two foundations to all of our conversations. Number one, bravery is a skill, not a personality trait. And you are already brave. Brave is how you create your unique, gorgeous, wonderfully fulfilling life. Brave is you. Let's go. You are the first to know. In May, I am doing something I've never done before. Let's do this chronologically. So, in March, I held a free webinar to help people experience their feelings so that they could navigate a layoff with freedom, with confidence, with curiosity, and land their next role quickly, with more ease, and with the results that they wanted. And that session was amazing. Most people experienced it through the recording. And so as a result, I've gotten a lot of emails about it. I've been staying in contact with people. And without fail, those people who decided to start working with me after that webinar, or to deepen the work of working with me after that webinar, they have asked me to please, do you hear the pleases? Bring the mindset, the feeling and thinking framework I teach my clients into the greater population. Now, I have been very nervous to do this. I have never done this before. I always start this one-on-one, but I've been practicing. I've been putting in the work. I've been meeting myself with commitment and with curiosity. And now I am ready to offer for the first time, and maybe the only time, a free masterclass on how to first identify what your brain and body is offering you about your goal and do it in a way that creates clarity with more ease and more safety than spinning out and complaining to your family and friends. Then make decisions about what you want to feel, what you want to believe, and get so specific that there is no other option than for you to start actually creating what you want to believe and what you want to feel. And then lastly, break it down between where you are right now, what your brain and your body are telling you when you think about and when you act towards your goal, what you want to be thinking and feeling, and breaking it down into small, manageable 2% change shifts so that you reach your goal and you feel way less stress on your way there. You feel way more ease. You do not overwork it. You do not overproduce. You do not overthink. No. You do it with some gentleness, some ease, and deep, deep bravery. Like I said, I've never done this before, and I am so excited to welcome you, dear podcast listener, as the very, very first to hear about it. We are going to be meeting on May 8th, May 10th, and May 11th. check the show notes for more information. I will see you there. Get ready to clean up and declutter that mind so you reach your goal faster, easier, and with all the bravery you can ever imagine. Today, I'm keeping my promise to share even more about me, show the messy middle. And so I have a fantastic first ever guest, Lauren Enochs, who runs a business called Travel to Infinity. And we are going to talk about her business model, her motivation, and then I'm going to share how, working with her and experiencing Disney World with my family was a deeply healing experience for me. Hey there, Lauren. Welcome, welcome. I am so nervous.
Thank you so much, Nicole. I'm so excited to hear your story. I'm so excited.
Yeah, because I think I shared a little bit with you. I was like, oh, I had this experience. Oh my goodness. And then I think it took me a week to build up the courage to be like, will you be on my podcast? I really want to share what you do, because I had no idea that you exist. Like, not you, the human, but like you, the service provider, exists. And like what you do just facilitates families to have a first-time experience that is really positive versus what I heard so many horror stories. I heard so many horror stories. And so when our mutual friend connected us, Jane, I love you. Thank you. You rock.
Jane, you're the best.
Oh my God, Jane's the best.
She is.
Right? When I reached out to her and I said, hey, we're thinking of going to Disney World. Ugh. Can you help me? And she's like, no, because she has amazing boundaries, which I love. And she's like, but talk to my friend. So what is it that you actually do? What is your service in the world?
Yeah. So I think most people are unaware that travel agents still exist. It's not a totally dead profession. We are, some people think maybe we're dinosaurs. So it is a little bit of a misconception that even if you do work with a travel agent, maybe you have to pay that person for what they're going to do for you. Really, my job is just exactly what you said, to facilitate your travel experience. And it doesn't cost you anything extra. So really, there's, I think, no drawbacks, right? But my goal is just to come alongside you and learn a little bit about who you are and what you're looking for, and almost just to make you feel like you have a friend in the process, right? I want to make sure you feel heard. I want to make sure you feel represented well, because I know for my family, travel has been really important. I'm a mom of 4 kids. We have traveled in some really difficult times in our family history. And that has been really important and foundational for us and how we function as a family at home. So it is a passion of mine. I've been doing it for almost 11 years now.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and then started my company in 2021. Finally worked up the nerve to go out on my own.
Yes.
And so I feel like my goal is to really provide an elevated level of service, more so than what you would find elsewhere, right? I'd like to be, yes, your friend and also your travel concierge, right? I joke all the time. Do you watch The Office?
I have, yes.
Okay, so
yes, my sister is like consistently trying to make me watch all of them 5 times in a row. So yes, Sissy, I have watched.
Yeah, if it's not for you, that's okay. But I just feel like there's this episode, where they send Michael to Canada on a business trip, and David Wallace.
Yes.
You need to go to the concierge, right? And he's just like, he's so enchanted with Concierge Marie, and he can ask her any question and she has like a well thought out, multifaceted answer. Like that is my goal in life. Like, I want to be your Concierge Marie.
Okay, I'm going to find that episode. Okay.
It's a good one.
And now, correct me if I'm wrong, you focus on Disney.
Primarily, yes. So for the first 8 years of my career, I was Disney only. I still do mainly Disney because I love it. I think it's a very strong product. But I also work with, Universal, SeaWorld, most of the major cruise lines. So we're branching.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That's amazing. Okay, side note, I went to Universal with a really good friend a few years ago. She loves Harry Potter. I like Harry Potter. It's nice. And no planning. I think we got the tickets like in the morning. I think she got the tickets in the morning. Let's be honest, Nicole did not get the tickets.
Sure.
And we just rolled in and we had no idea what we were doing. Mm-hmm. We had no map. And at the time, I still didn't have a diagnosis. So like I got nauseous a lot and I did not ride rides, and she does not ride rides either. So we had a grand time. But if we had rolled up to anything else and wanted to experience anything beyond Harry Potter world, we would have been really messed up. So that's exciting. So you also do Universal,
I do,
SeaWorld, and the cruise lines. Oh my God, you're so brave. Okay.
Hey, thanks.
You were so brave. Okay, cool. So I love this concept of the concierge. I actually called you our Disney fairy. I hope that that's not insulting.
I love it. Not at all.
It was amazing. So if it's cool with you, I'm just going to launch into my brave story. This is the first time I've ever shared my brave story as part of a conversation. But I really wanted to highlight the part, like it felt like a partnership. It really did.
Good.
So originally, my family, we had talked about going to Disney World as part of like something else. I don't even remember the details anymore. In 2020. And we all know that that didn't happen. And then there was some talk about going in 2021. And I can't remember what happened. Oh, I think there weren't vaccines yet or something. And we decided that that was just not a good idea.
Yeah.
In the spring because of I was always getting sick. I had just finally gotten diagnosed with an autoimmune disorder that runs over estrogen. And the original forms of COVID just were no bueno for anybody, but particularly for people who have respiratory stuff. So when we decided that we would go in 2022, I could feel anxiety. So I could feel red heaviness sinking back behind my heart. I could feel it racing. And I knew it was going to be expensive. I did not know how expensive.
Right.
But my therapist at one point, she's like, so have you just like opened the money vein? Just like open it. Just open the money vein. Cause I was like, yeah, we budgeted like $1,000 while we're there. She's like, so anyways, just open the money vein. I was like, yeah, good advice. And it was totally worth it. I just want everyone to hear at the end, it was all of that investment was worth it. So I knew I have at the time I knew I had one neurodiverse kid. Now I know I have two. My husband and I are not people who go to amusements. We just don't. That's just not our thing.
Sure.
And we wanted to have a magical, relaxed experience. So we travel a lot. We always have. But when we travel somewhere, like we went to New Zealand for a month for our honeymoon, and in a month, we had 5 things on our to-do list.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Right? And the rest was like, well, let's see what happens.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I reached out to Jane because I knew that Jane had done something. And I remember talking to her about Disney. And she's like, no, it can be positive. It can be positive. This was like over a decade ago that I had that conversation. So I reached out and she's like, nope, can't help you, but my friend can. So this was like in January, wasn't it? Of 2022.
Yeah.
We started talking. Mm-hmm. And it was weird because you asked me to tell you about our family first. You didn't sell me anything. You didn't like send me like you asked me about the family first. And so I just like poured my little old heart out to you. And I was like, this woman will never talk to me again. But you were like, that's great. You're going to have such a great experience. So we scheduled everything for August.
Yep.
Spoiler alert. Turns out we don't do hot weather. And this wasn't, people listen, it was in July that my son, my husband, and my daughter were in Germany and they went to something and they were riding rides and it was only 30 degrees Celsius, which is like 90. So it wasn't even that hot according to Florida. Oh my God. How do people live there?
I don't know.
Oh, craziness. Anyways. And we were reminded that one of my kiddos has a medicine that makes them very heat adverse. And my husband, anyways, he's like the opposite of an orchard. It gets hot and he dies. So I wrote to you in July.
Mm-hmm.
We were supposed to go in August. And I said, I don't think we can do this. And you're like, you have 2 days to decide. And I was like, brilliant, boundaries, deadline. I can totally do this. So we did. I asked you, I don't know how many questions about when should we go and temperatures and humidity. And God, what other questions did I ask you? I asked you a million questions. I was so insecure. I was so insecure and so scared. Do you remember? Like,
so I think we probably talked about crowd levels also would be another
levels.
Yeah. And things that were going to be happening if you moved your dates, right? Like, how's this going to change the experience?
Yeah.
Because truly you ended up going at one of my favorite times of the year. So I'm so pleased that it worked out the way that it did.
Oh my God, me too. Because it was hot. It was January and it was hot.
Mm-hmm.
It was hot.
Yeah.
I had to put on sunscreen and I had sweat. It was hot. And I'm like, I would have gone in August. This is insane. Then, do you know that we got COVID? We couldn't have gone anyways if we had not rescheduled. We were sick.
I did not know that.
Yeah. So it was like the best of the best worlds.
Good.
So we are now, y'all listen, we were 2 weeks out and I started waking up in the middle of the night in panic. Like my eyes are welling up because I was so scared. Like we had paid for everything, which was great. The price is a lot, but it is not a lot, right? And we had the plane tickets. We had everything. The kids were so excited. And I was waking up in panic. And I was like trying to like download all these maps and like everything I tell my clients not to do, I was doing. Okay, y'all, listen, everything. I was obsessing. I was not asking for help. I was looking for information from everybody. I even got sucked into this YouTube person who's like, hack your Disney experience. Do not do this. Please do not do this. Do not listen to me. And thankfully, my therapist said, Nicole, you know, you're working on asking for help. I can see this is really important to you. I was so scared that my children would not have a good experience. I had this really sad travel experience when I was a kid. My husband was like, it'll be fine. And I was like, you always say it's going to be fine. And then we get there and the lines are 2 hours long and we all freak out. Like what? And so I went to my husband and of course, not instantly. We all know that I'm a human, not instantly. I went like 2 days later.
Yeah.
And I was like, I need your help to figure this out. And he goes, I've never been to Disney World. How am I supposed to help you? I don't know.
Right.
Why don't you call, I love this part. Why don't you call the woman organizing everything? And I was like, oh, okay. So now I have clarity. And I think I sent you a text message that said, I'm panicking.
Yeah.
I am so anxious. What do I do? I think that was my full text message.
Yeah. It may have been.
Yeah. And you sent me back this glorious wall of text that had nothing to do about what we were going to do and everything about how you had us. It was going to be okay. We can pop on the phone and you're going to tell us how to prepare. And I was like, oh, okay. Like I had no plan at this point in time. I just had clarity. Okay, she's going to help me.
Oh, good.
She's going to help us. That was it. So we get on and you gave us the best advice, which was watch these videos. Did you tell us about the videos? I don't know. Watch this woman, the Disney food blog or something.
I probably sent you how to use Genie Plus, right?
Yes. So we had 4 days left because Lord knows I'm super prepared in advance. So we had 4 days left before we flew and we were going to 4 parks. And each evening we watched a video about rides. And your advice was have everybody choose one. Everybody choose one. And then you've got a whole day and you just need to do 4 things and everything else feels like, my word was luxurious. It's like luxurious. Like, ooh, yeah. We get to do this and we get to do that and we get to do this. And so we did that. And most of the time there was 2 people in our family who had the same thing.
Perfect.
And then we traveled in. You gave us a whole list of things to take.
Yeah.
And all I needed to do was check it off. Momentum, right? Like this is the type of clarity. Clarity, 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 and then into momentum. We just checked it off. We set expectations with the kids. We told them what time we were waking up, all of these things. Then quick side note, my client loves Disney. She took me to Epcot. Thank God she gave me this was in September of 2022. She took me to Epcot. I followed her around like a duckling.
Yes.
I just walked behind her the whole time. I think she was a little like, what is happening? I'm like, hey, our relationship is in a different dynamic now.
Yeah. You're learning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she sent a surprise welcome gift, her and her sister, to my kids when we got there. It was so beautiful. And I was like,
That's
oh
fantastic.
my God, so many people are supporting us. Long story short, we had the best experience. You booked places for us to eat that were extraordinary.
Oh, good.
Extraordinary. And we just kept as a family, of course, I'm like the leader, right? But we kept coming back to, this is our time at Disney World. This is our time as a family. This is our time to enjoy this. And I had a couple of questions. I reached out to you. You let us know. But the secret here was, you said, it's going to be okay. You're going to have a great time. And here are some suggestions. And it was.
Good.
Yeah, it really was. It was neurodivergent inclusive.
Good.
Right? It was heat inclusive. It was human. It was just human, right? So much of, and why I was waking up in the middle of the night was fear and scarcity, and there's not enough. And I don't remember you saying this, but my husband does. And I believe him because I was high emotions and very low intelligence. And he was like, everything's going to be fine, but I'll sit next to you in this conversation. So he was high intelligence. You literally, apparently you said something along the lines of, Nicole, you can go there for a week and you won't be able to do everything in Magic Kingdom. And you guys are going to 4 different parks. So you can't do it all. Like, let it go.
Yeah.
Was the best advice.
Good.
And I still felt nervous sometimes, especially when my kids were like, I want to go on the biggest roller coaster and the scariest thing. But it showed me that it's safe for me to ask for help. It's safe for me to work with an expert. I don't have to have all the answers. And when I emotionally connect with people, everybody benefits.
Yes.
Everybody benefits. Yeah, it just blew my mind. And I really wanted to share this with people because, we also saw families that were having a horrible time.
Yes, I'm sure you did.
And we saw families that paid $5,000 for an on the spot person who cuts all the lines with them and whatever it is. I don't have any judgment. It's fine.
Yeah.
But we just did what was right for us with your you're our travel fairy. You're our Disney fairy.
I love it so much. That makes me so happy.
So how do you keep yourself going when you're dealing with clients that seem like they've got their stuff together? I like to pretend that that's how you thought about me. And then they're like, everything is shit. It's going to be awful.
Yeah.
I have to go. What do I do? How do you navigate that?
Well, I think empathy is important, right? You would be hard pressed to find someone who hasn't felt that exact sensation about something in their life, right? I have agreed to do this thing and it is a big thing and now it's here and I have to do it and I'm not prepared, right?
Yes.
I think we've all felt that.
Yes. And this is supposed to be fun.
Yes.
It's supposed to be fun. We're going to make it fun.
Yeah.
Just
by golly.
Yeah.
Yes. And so I think, experience is a powerful teacher and learning to ask for help is hard. I don't know about you. I'm an extreme type A go-getter. I hate asking for help. But what I love is exactly what you said, is forming those connections with people. Because I think so often it's so encouraging, right? It is so easy to have hypothetical conversations with people and build these negative scenarios up in our minds. But then like I'm so often pleasantly surprised by people's willingness to help and energized by their passion for whatever it is that they do in the world. Like I just think that being part of that or being on the receiving end of that is a beautiful experience.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, I hate asking for help. Coaching me is a real joy, and being my therapist is a real joy. I'll tell you. Like, I tried this last week. I tried to cancel with my coach. I was like, hey, I have to, and it didn't work out, but I was like, oh, I have to have this little surgery thing. And so I can't meet on our normal time. I said this in our set, and she was like, yeah, we'll just reschedule that. She's like, you're not getting out of it. I know your mind is crazy. That is. Her name is Jess Johnson. She's incredible. So I always shout out the fantastic people. We don't use the names of the people who don't deserve our platforms. Anywho. So while we were there, I'm really nervous. While we were there, you had booked us into the Beauty and the Beast restaurant. What is it called?
Be Our Guest Restaurant.
Okay, Be Our Guest Restaurant. I don't know if I told you this because you asked so many beautiful questions. I don't know if I shared this with you, but I was obsessed with Belle. I was obsessed. When she came out, I mean, now I watch that thing where she's like talking shit about all of her fellow villagers. And I'm like, Belle, like, I see why I identified with you. Anyhow, but she read, right? She was a reader.
Yeah.
She had an imagination. She wasn't interested in being with the popular people. She was a little bit weird. Her parent was really weird, right? Yes. And I was like, oh my God, it's me. Which is why I love all of this representation and all these different stories coming out. Because I remember what I felt like when I saw me, right?
Yes.
So I was really excited. And for those of you who haven't been to Disney World yet, this restaurant is set up so that there are 3 rooms. And the one in the middle is the ballroom where they dance. Mm-hmm. It is beautiful. It is beautiful. And we got our table, and our table was in the middle of everything. And usually, if you are looking for Nicole, she's in the middle of everything. However, and I love when my house is full. I love when my house is loud. However, Nicole is also in recovery for disordered eating. So being in a loud place for food is really hard. This place was packed, y'all. Mm-hmm. But my Lauren, my Disney fairy, had told me that I could ask for just about anything.
Yeah, you can.
Like, just about anything. This place was packed. And I started to disassociate from my body, sitting in the middle of everything. And my daughter noticed, and then my son, and then my husband. And I said, I don't think I can do this. So the waiter came over. He was lovely. And I said, I know you're really busy. And I know that this is a huge ask. And I also grew up with someone who humiliated people when they asked to change tables. And so I still did it. And I was almost crying. My entire body was shaking. I didn't say it. I just said, like, I don't think we can sit here. And he's like, well, you'll have to go wait again. And I said, okay, before we do that, because I had a very hangry kid.
Yeah.
Before we do that, could you just ask and then let me know what the information is? Like, my whole body was shaking. And he was like, okay. Like, I was like, Lauren told me I could ask. Lauren told me I could ask. And my husband's like, freeze, deer in headlights. Right?
Yep. Yes.
He comes back and he's like, okay, please come with me. And I was like, well, first, and he's like, there's a table right there. It was against the wall. So my back was against the wall. There was a sub ceiling.
Yep.
So it was a little bit lower. And there was all of this fabric behind me, so it wasn't as loud. I was like, thank you. And we moved. And I was like, Lauren told me I could ask. Lauren told me I could ask. We sat down. everyone's like, oh my God, this is so much better for us. Like now we're the loud people in the quiet area, but whatever. For real, we were so loud when we first shifted. And I said, oh, I have to go to the bathroom. And I went to the bathroom and I just sobbed. Like I just sobbed.
Yeah.
And this woman, oh my God, I knew I would be emotional telling this story, but I didn't expect to be this emotional. And this fellow Disney mom who was at Disney with her family, I'm going to guess. It's definitely a mom though, because she had a kid.
Yeah.
Says to me, I know, right? And I was like, we are in this together.
Yes.
And I walked back. It was obvious I had been crying, but it's fine. I walked back to the table and my husband was like, oh, do we need to go? And I was like, no. I just had this like deeply emotional relief, pride. Oh my God, I did it. Like it's possible. I'm not disassociating. I'm going to remember this experience. This is a moment in my life. Cry. And he was like, oh, okay. Like, and the kids were like, is that good or bad?
Oh,
It's like, it's good.
it's so good.
The waiter came over. It turned out he was from Bradford, England, where my husband had worked. We had this like amazing connection with him. The kids teased him. He teased the kids only as English people can. I mean, merciful. I mean, it was to die for. Great. We had some of the best food. Look, I love going out to eat. I love eating by myself. I've been to the really good restaurants when traveling for work. Some of the best food. The steak at this place. It was insane. The snails were superb. The desserts were out of this world.
Good.
I mean, oh my God, the food. And we got up and I left that restaurant as a totally different person in that regard. Like I healed. I truly healed. And I, like so many people facilitated that, but Lauren, the way that I would never call you a travel agent. I've given your information to so many people. I have never said travel agent ever. I have said, she's going to partner with you to make sure you truly enjoy your time there, that you have only the information you need. You have a plan that supports you, and you have someone that you can turn to. So I very publicly say to you, thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Truly, I say this, and I don't know if people understand how fully I mean this, but when you trust me in that sense, like that's it for me. That's the reason I do this every day, right? If someone can have an experience like that, like, oh, it's worth all the hard, or mundane, boring parts of facilitating a business to have that moment. Like, oh, thank you. And thank you for telling me about it. I'm
You're
so
welcome.
happy that is brave, right? Like you had a need. And I think so often as moms, we push that down, right? In favor of the experience that our children are having. But what a treasure that you have because of that, right? That now, like, yes, they had that great experience, but also you were fully present and you were able to enjoy it. I mean, way to go, Mom. That's amazing.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Because I really believe that when we live full lives, they get to live their full life later.
Yes.
Because I did not see people say so. To be very frank, it was my biological father who would just harass and shame and humiliate people when they needed to move for whatever reason, men and women. And I never saw anyone say, you know what? You don't get to talk to me like that.
Right.
And my comfort is a value.
It is.
Right. So even if we shifted, especially as like the older generation was really ill, like there were just places where they had to sit because of oxygen, because of whatever.
Right.
And I never saw anyone say, my comfort's important.
Yeah.
My experience is important. And one of my core values is that when I show that as hard as it is and as much as I sobbed in the bathroom, holding on to like, Lauren told me I could. She told me I could. Somebody gave me my permission slip, right?
Oh, good.
Then my children can do that. My children can ask for what they need. And if someone responds weird, they know they're weird. They know the response is weird, not my kid.
That's right.
And that changes everything in the world, I believe. I believe that changes everything.
It does. And I love the way you approached it too, because, you know, the unfortunate reality, and you may have even experienced this while you were there, people expect and so then demand magic, right? Like,
yes. Oh my God.
I am uncomfortable and you are going to make some magic for me right now, right?
Oh
and so,
my God.
You know, I love the way you approached it. You clearly asked for what you needed, and you also acknowledged like, ooh, this is less than ideal for you, but I would appreciate your help, right? Like that's textbook the way that I would encourage people to do that. And I'm so happy that they took care of you.
Oh, let me tell you a story.
Please do.
Okay, you ready? So in our first day, we went to that character place inside of Animal Kingdom. Animal Kingdom is so fun.
Yes, it is.
It is so fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's beautiful.
It's so great. What is it? The restaurant there with
called,
the like?
Tusker House.
Tusker House.
Mm-hmm.
And we sat next to this table of people who were very rude to our waiter.
Yeah.
And quite actually a little bit rude to the characters, and the food there is superb.
It's great.
My son was like, can we come here every day? The salads are amazing.
That's my favorite part too. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, then we went to the other parks, and he's like, this is my favorite. No, this is my favorite. No, this one is my favorite. Like he just, and my son is the one who's more like, I don't like it. Right.
Yes.
And my daughter's more like, every day is the best day of my life. So like, just once again, like the magic and how like doing, like planning less so you can do more and experience more just was so right for our family.
Good.
So these people are being so damn rude, and even to the characters. I mean, it was not a lovely situation. And, you know, we speak German a lot. And my daughter had said, like, I don't think they're being nice in English. And I was like, yeah, I agree. And then we switched into German, and we talked about, like, you know, how exciting it is that characters come and how wonderful it is. And it was very full and all of these things. And we could see that our waiter was like, I mean, God, that guy was hustling, but he was also just pleasant, right? There was no reason to be uncomfortable with him. So on our way out, so they left that other table left relatively quickly, because I think if they had been there as long as we were there, like if we had more of an overlap, I think I would have leaned over at one point and been like, hey, listen, have you ever waited tables?
Yeah.
Like it was incredible. But on our way out, like I saw the waiter when I went to the restroom, like talking to another fella, and I could tell that our waiter was a little bit upset. And I don't know what he was upset about.
Sure.
He just looked a little upset. So on our way out, like we were like profusely thanked him. He was fantastic. He made sure that my daughter saw Daisy Duck. Yeah, Daisy Duck.
Mm-hmm.
And on our way out, I said to someone, I was like, hey, I just want to say, like, he may have gotten stiffed, and it wasn't him. It really wasn't him. And the person said, that is so nice of you to tell us. And inside of the app, there's this compliments feature for the cast.
Yes.
They need to make that like on the front page. I am not even playing. I'm not even playing. Because I'll tell you, every single time that I started to get tired, every time we were standing in line and somebody interacted with my daughter or my son or me, one of the people was like, I had a shirt that said shenanigans coordinator. I sent you a picture of it.
I love it.
We were standing in line, and this character, one of the Disney people, came over and was like, shenanigans coordinator, not in this part. Not here. There will be no shenanigans here. And I was like, try me. And it was so fun. It was like this really fun interaction for a boring line. I would pull out my phone, open the app, find the cast compliments, and man, I was finding all their names. I told my family, like, notice their names and let's put it in.
Yes.
And so we were doing this all the time. Showing gratitude is the easiest way to hack your mind to enjoy what you're doing.
Absolutely.
Like anytime, fits started or energy, because of course, we had fits. We
of
know,
course.
I mean.
Everyone does.
Everyone does. Oh,
yeah.
God. Practicing gratitude just completely turns around the whole experience so quickly. And they make it possible to experience magic, to demand magic. Because at a normal restaurant, I think that the waiter would have gotten the manager. Honestly, these people were so rude, right? But also to create magic.
Yeah.
Which is what you do as well.
Thank you.
So, Lauren, is there anything you wanted to say in this conversation that we haven't touched on yet? And we are going to talk about how to contact you, and all the links are going to be in the show notes. But is there anything that we missed?
I'm not sure. I'm trying to just observe this and take it all in. And I'm so enjoying hearing you talk about your vacation. Truly, this is going to buoy me through the next month of planning vacations. I treasure this. But I think you're right. I think as a mom, a lot of us are concerned about the fits. They're going to happen. And I think, actually, I'm working on a video that teaches people how to use the cast compliments feature in the app. So thank you for reminding me that I need to do that. But I talk about this with people all the time. You're exactly right. When we train people to look for those experiences, to look for cast members who are making magic, they notice it. And that changes their temperament. But also, I think the lovely thing about Disney, and this is why I encourage people to go slow and be spontaneous, is there are things that I want you to notice. There are smells that
oh, yes.
Right? There are smells that are nice, that are helping you get in the mindset of what you're experiencing. The music is thoughtful and lovely. And there's little visual details everywhere. And so often for us, that's what helps us with the kids. It's let's take a minute. Let's notice. Right. So I love that you said that, because that's one of the things I appreciate about Disney.
Yes. I love that you mentioned the smells, because I can't wear anything that has perfumes on it because I'm allergic to all the stabilizers, or I'm not allergic. I'm intolerant to all the stabilizers. And it's why I love my gray hair, but I also don't dye my hair. I don't wear a lot of makeup for all of these reasons, right? And the way that they intentionally use smell is extraordinary. And because you had primed us in one of your videos, I think that we also need to mention, not only are you available for texting and emailing and conversation, but you also have on-demand videos that are out there in the world.
Yes.
You have information videos, which are just beautiful. I forgot to tell you that we had moved house. And so when you sent the itinerary to us, which was such a delightful surprise. I mean, such a delightful surprise.
Thank you.
There's also self-education possible with you, which is, I think, really a beautiful addition that you give to people. And so the smell, my son is counterindicative. So if lavender is supposed to calm you, it hypers. He gets very, very hyper. So there was this moment where both of my kids, who respond very differently to smells, both of them were being buttheads. I think we're allowed to say that.
Yes.
And we were at Hollywood Studios, and I noticed that there was a differentiation. If you go to the Aerosmith roller coaster, it's a peppermint kind of thing when you come out, because most people would need to vomit, I'm presuming. And Cars has a lemony kind of thing. So I actually made them go in opposite directions.
Yes.
For 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And they counted to 30, walked into their direction, and came back. And of course they were still upset, but they were a little more regulated. Yeah. So just those little moments, it makes such a difference.
How smart of you as a mom to think of that. That was great.
Lessons learned through failure, lady.
In the moment parenting. Way to go.
That's
terrific.
Yeah. I think we are magical. Moms, I just really think. And some dads, and many dads. But moms, I just think most moms are so magical. Okay. Tell us how people can get lucky enough to work with you.
Thank you. Yes, you can find my website, www.travel2infinity.com. You can find me at Travel to Infinity Inc. on Facebook, Instagram, and now YouTube. So,
ooh, you went to you are brave. I went to YouTube, looked around, and was like, oh, I'm too scared.
I don't have a ton of content over there yet, but I actually will be in Disney World in May. And so I have a couple days set aside to record some like resort tours. And I'm very excited about that. So,
oh my gosh, we didn't even talk about the resorts.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. You did such a good job in pinpointing us towards what we wanted, because we got onto the wrong shuttle, which by the way, that shuttle is so fun. But anyways, we got onto the wrong shuttle. I mean, it went into the right place. So it was fine. Good. So we had like a full tour.
Yes.
And we were like, oh yeah, that would not have been right for us. And then we saw the next one. We were like, oh, that's nice. That'll be great for when we don't have kids with us. I mean, oh my gosh, the resorts, just understanding the resorts alone was priceless. I totally forgot about that.
Yeah. And I really do think, like, people ask that all the time, you know, what do you think about staying on property? Is it worth it? And, I mean, I'm biased, right? So I would say yes, but like being inside that Disney bubble, especially if you can find the place that's right for you. But I really do feel like there's something out there that fits everybody's needs. And I like that part of my job, helping you, you know, figure that out. Because I think you have the instinct, right? It's just my job to listen well and understand what you're trying to communicate.
Yes. Yeah. Oh my gosh. If I had tried to make sense, I didn't even realize there were so many resorts. I mean, it was just incredible. Yeah. When Matilda, we stayed at Jamaica, and which now I'm like, I never wanted to go to Jamaica, but now if fake Jamaica is that cool, I want to go to real Jamaica.
Yeah.
We walked across the bridge and she saw the pool and she turned around. We haven't been to any parks. We've just arrived. She turns around and she goes, Mommy, I dreamt this place.
Oh.
And I was like, of course you did. It was just so great. Anyway, my little lady. Yeah. And my dude was like, this is amazing.
Good.
Cool. So, and it's travel to like the word,
T-O,
not the number. Okay. Awesome. All right. Everything is going to be in the show notes.
Yeah.
Thank you for letting me share my story with you. But more importantly, Lauren, I really wanted to amplify you, because what you are doing is, I even practiced how I wanted to say this, and now it just doesn't even feel good enough. But like, really, that you set us up for us each to have an experience, to have a shared experience. And you do that by first starting with, so tell me who you are. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. That's so kind of you. I think what a gift that we give to other women in business, right? It's lovely to hear the things that you're doing well. So I truly appreciate the encouragement. Thank you very much.
Yeah. And this is how we change what it means to be a business.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Yeah. All right. Connect to Lauren. Definitely watch her videos. Follow her on Facebook. When you pop up, I always watch. They're so fun.
Thanks.
Until next week, brave it up. Hey, before you go, you are ready to become the bravest, most fulfilled version of you. And I am ready to be your coach. I invite you to explore one-on-one coaching with me. Go to tricksteinbach.com to learn more and schedule your consultation. You can stress and work less while you live and earn more. My clients do it all the time.